Hi, everyone. It's January 12th, 2022. It's 11 o'clock here in Hawaii, and we're here to talk about January. Talking about January 12th, New Year's resolutions. It's 11 o'clock here in Hawaii, and we're here to talk about January. One moment. January 12th. There we go. Okay. Thank you for your patience. All right. So we're talking about January, and we're talking about our New Year's resolutions. We're going to talk about how there is so much pressure and so many more ads that are exuding diet culture pressure for us to look a certain way, for our body to be a certain way. And it's a lot. It's really a lot. This is the time that ads really do be pushed out. This is the big health and wellness push, the big diet push. Everyone who has a program is sharing it now when it comes to weight loss and weight management and looking better and getting fit and new year, new you, and all that stuff, right? So how do we deal with this? How do we deal with this and still keep ourselves sane? How do we deal with this and actually use the energy, right? Everyone is, there's a collective energy. The collective energy is, I want to feel better. I want to be better. I want to do better. I want to show up more in my life. There is that collective energy, and we can use that to bank on it, right? It's like when it's the new moon, that's the time to make our manifestations and do our visioning. When it's the full moon, it's a time to complete things. So there's certain times in our lives, there's certain times in the month that is the right time. Right now, January is a good time because many people are doing it. The issue is that it can feel really icky, and we can possibly do better for a little while, but then we slip up. And then we feel bad about ourselves, and then we're in shame, and then we're in the efforts, right? So it doesn't really serve us. What I want you to look at is, how can you do things differently this year? How can you look at some of the things that you want to change, some of the ways you want to, maybe you did eat over the top over the holidays. Maybe you were eating some things that weren't really good for your body and your food, and you're wanting to make that change. But you don't want to do it from a place of pushing, dieting, pressure, because quite honestly, it just doesn't work, right? I mean, come on, let's face it. You just got to really face it. It's not working. And it's not that you are doing anything wrong. It's the approach can be shifted and changed. So let's look at this. We want to approach all of our goals, our ways of change, with the concept of small, doable increment. What are the things that we can do in the smallest doable increment that will slowly begin to build confidence? So what we don't want to do, hands down, is do some sort of huge cleanse that we are starving ourselves, all right? Starving is not an option. Restricting to the point where you're hungry all the time is not an option. Okay, I really want you to hear that. And I know, and your body knows that too, because your body is screaming at you, eat, 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 eat. So we got to listen to our body, because what happens when you starve? You end up binging, you end up overeating, you end up going back into because you can't sustain it. It's not sustainable. So what we're doing is we're slowing things down to a point where our changes begin to kind of creep up on us. And they're like, wow, I've been doing this for a while. Wow, this is pretty easy. Wow, I'm doing great. Maybe I can change a little bit of something else. So, and we're doing it to build confidence, and we're doing it to not shake ourselves out of balance. So for example, you don't want to go from eating, I don't know, all potato chips and pop all day to say you're going to eat all vegetarian green juices. That's an extreme, right? That's pretty extreme and not necessarily doable. So what can you do? Well, the smallest doable increment is like, I'm going to add some broccoli. I'm going to add an apple. I'm going to one meal a day not eat chips and pop, right? I'm going to eat something like a sandwich or something that's more sustainable that my body actually wants, right? That's kind of an extreme example, but you can think about it in your own terms. So let's see, an example for me is I'm being more aware of what it is I'm eating in the morning, because I'm learning that the first thing you eat in the morning is really important. So I'm slowly adding more protein, right, to my diet in the morning. And I'm doing it in a very easy way. If I don't want to have it some mornings, I don't, but I'm not doing it from a place of should. I'm doing it from a place of listening that, oh, this is actually going to serve my body and I'm going to actually get more energy from it. Let's talk about smallest doable increment when it comes to exercise. So many people will be lying on the couch and then all of a sudden they get up and they start doing HIIT exercises or going to some boot camp and they get hurt. Their body doesn't want it. Oh, my back is hurt. I can't exercise anymore. We got to slowly add. Maybe you go for a walk for 10 minutes. Maybe you go for a walk for a half an hour. Maybe you add a yoga class, a 15-minute yoga class into your day or into your week, right? So if your intention is more yoga, then start with 15 minutes, right? Sometimes we may like, oh, I'm going to go and get a yoga pass. And then you go every day for 2 weeks and then you don't go again. And it sounds like a great idea to do that. And I get it because you want to get yourself excited and you want to use that passion. However, that passion will wear out if we don't slowly, like a fire, slowly put kindling onto the fire to use that passion to actually serve us, right? Okay, so within that, the idea is you're not making your food perfect and you're not making your exercise perfect. This is a slow burn. If you're thinking about a New Year's resolution, what you can do better this year, you have the whole year. It's not going to happen in January. That is an interesting thing to think about. And I want you to think about that. I want you to think about your whole year rather than you're making a change like that, because the changes like that can often, if they're not completely supported, completely in alignment, they can fall off. Now, some of the changes that we want to make with our body and our food, they come from a good place, right? But there's often a lot of emotional attachment, emotional stuff that is connected to certain foods, certain ways we move our body, certain ways we don't move our body, the certain ways we emotionally eat. And so it's not only this practical, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. It could be so much bigger than that, right? So for me to not exercise after I ate a big meal wasn't only like a New Year's resolution. It was something that I needed a mass amount of help with. So I don't want you to think that you put it on your list and that means you're going to just take care of it by saying you're going to do X, Y, and Z on practical level. No, it's important to like, what support do I need around this new skill, this new tool, this new way of being with my body, this new way of self-care? Because we're going to come up against our contraction. We're going to come up against what has made us not do it to begin with. And so we want to make sure that we have that support in whatever way. And this is another thing that I want to talk about when it comes to creating change and slowest doable increment and receiving support is that when we do mess up, as we often like to say, oh, I am again. I'm messing up again. That is a moment. That is a very important moment to pause, okay? So I want you to think about this. You have some goal and wow, I'm doing really well. I haven't eaten like a whole gallon of ice cream before I go to bed, or I haven't eaten dessert in like a week and a half. Oh, and here I am 2 nights in a row. Here I am again, eating dessert before I go to bed. And I said I wasn't going to do that. And here I am. And then you just feel really bad about yourself and you make yourself like, well, this is how I do it. And I'm never going to learn. I want you to pause and I want you to think, oh, here I am. This is where I am. Why am I here? What brought me here? What's going on? What can I do to support myself? Maybe it's actually okay. Actually, maybe it's okay that you're eating dessert before you go to bed. Maybe that's all right tonight. Maybe it's something you don't want to do in the future every single night because you wake up with a bellyache or whatever. But you want to look at it as a lifestyle change rather than a black and white situation, right? Where it's either on or off. It's not an on or off situation. It's a way of being. Okay. So you're really slowing down to not make yourself wrong or bad or put yourself into shame, because it doesn't work. It makes you feel worse. And quite honestly, what it will do, about 99 times out of 100, it will make you either eat more or go into a lot of restriction, which then will make you eat more. So we need to just slow down. There's been so many times where I've come back to these places of, oh my God, I'm here again. How the heck did I get here? I thought I was doing so well. It's like, okay, so this is a learning experience and this is teaching me something, and I have the rest of my life to work on this. And wow, I did think this was gone, and I thought this behavior I would never have this behavior again because I know better, right? And it's an opportunity when we're healing. It's a slow burn, my friends. I'm not here to tell you that the behaviors that you are doing with food is going to go away like magic. Sometimes it does. There's certain things that I just don't do anymore. They're completely behind me. And there's certain ones that kind of creep up and I'm like, oh, well, hello, right? And I often will catch them before they actually happen. But sometimes I'm like, wow, I'm in that place again. I feel that way. But I'm not attached to the behavior. I'm actually interested in why it is happening and going deeper. And that's where more compassion comes in. All right, let me make sure I am covering everything that I wanted to talk about. So the important thing to realize is that these New Year's resolutions, these new year, new you, these new exciting opportunities to shift and to change and to use your passion to feel better about yourself. Really, the bottom line is connection. That's what you're wanting to feel. You're wanting to feel more connected to yourself. You're wanting to feel better about yourself. And when you feel better, you feel more connected, you feel more aligned. So if you can stop and pull back from all these goals that you have about your body and food and put those over here and put those aside, and then open up your mind or open up your journal and say, what can I do to better connect to myself? That's going to look way different for so many people. For some people, it's a spiritual practice. For some people, it's going for a walk and actually looking around when they're walking. For some people, it is, playing with their pet. It's going to be different for everyone, but it's that connection. It's that feeling inside where you are connected to love, really, a higher source of love. And we all know what that feels like. It's like when that oxytocin is going, it's like, oh, I feel good, right? So what are some of the things that you can add that aren't only about your body and your food, that are bringing more connection and love into your life? So let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you want to talk about your goals and where you are going this year and the support that you may need in order to create that lasting change so that you can feel that connection. So if that interests you, just put yes in the comments below and I will be in touch with you. Happy New Year, everyone. So happy to be here. Bye.